Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ron Doyle on Maryland's Eastern Shore. I'm a licensed master electrician, and I'm doing a video series on things that electricians do. And today we're going to be installing 8 ceiling cans. I've got 7 ceiling cans installed already, and I'm going to do one for you to show you how it's done. Now we're installing the Halo 6-inch IC rated, so 6 inches from here to here on the inside dimensions is how they classify this. This is a new construction ceiling can, which has the slide rails, and they open from, they close from 16 inches on center to 24 inches on center. And if you have to, you can actually take these rails out and change them in this direction. So the tracking is pretty universal. Designed for stick frame construction to nail into your floor joist of a second structure or ceiling joist of a one floor structure. This particular ceiling can is IC rated, and it is considered airtight. It has a gasket on the bottom, goes all the way around the perimeter. It's got one on the top in case it actually hits the bottom of a floor. This can also be used in drop ceilings, suspended ceilings, and commercial applications with this grid clip that they have on the end of it. The nails are for the new construction side that we're going to be using today. But this video is to give you all some inside tips on how these things are installed. Now, for a demonstration purpose, I'm going to show you better ways to change the distance on slide tracking. If you're sticking this in a space with this totally closed up, you can get as tight as 13.5 inches on this. And see if I can show you with the tape. 13.5 is as close as you can get it. Now, if you need to go closer because your ceiling joists are close together, I used to take these tracks apart, break them, and then insert them back together. There's a better way than that. These things are pre-grooved with snap-off points there and there, as you can see. And the same thing on the other side. You see right there. Now, if you need less in distance, push these together, figure out what distances you need. Now, the closest that you can put this together from this measurement is 7 inches. But this is illustration purposes. I don't have to physically break these off today, but I'm going to show you how. Close these all the way together. Take these ends, right where they're pre-notched, pre-grooved, rock it back and forth, and break it off. Do the same thing on the opposite side, such as so. This will allow you to push these closer together. Now, the way that I used to do it, when I would take it apart, it would make these jam up. Now, these get real sticky because you just bent the ends over. But pushing these back together now that I broke the ears off the end, now we can stick this in a 12-inch cavity, and you can keep working this until you get this down to what you need to do your install. We've already got 7 cans installed. I'm going to do one as a demo for you. And one thing I didn't mention, this is your connection box, and these are your cover doors that pop off. There's a lock and tab there. I drop these in the back when I'm doing my wiring. Keeps it out of the way from getting lost. And they have the quick push-in connector, so you don't need the use of wire nuts. These doors flip up. You can put a 12-2 in there or a 14-2 Romex wire. If you're doing MC cable, you do want to use these knockouts on the top. But they give you 3 ports. If you want to utilize the back port, you pull this lever in the back, push your door through, pop your tab, run your 14-2 or 12-2 wire in there, line up your cover door in the back, lock it back, and get your finger out of the way, because that little thing right there on cold desk snap you. But I'm going to give you all a little quick video on how to do an install. Stay tuned. All right, let's get this measurement laid out. And what I'm using today is the Stanley Fat Max 35 foot. It's got an 1.25 inch wide blade on it. With this far of an outreach, you need every bit of blade width to help you reach out and get your measurements accurately. So electricians, apprentices, and homeowners, get good quality tools. spend a little extra money. You get what you pay for. You really do. And even electricians have problems with tape measures. It must be this 20-degree weather we've got. All right. Now that we've got our 110.5 inches laid out, we're going to go ahead and nail the can up. First thing to do that I focus on is where the junction box is. It's on this right side. I try to face the junction boxes from both ceiling cans together so that your wire runs are shorter in between light fixture to light fixture. So I've got my mark laid out on this side, and what you're going to do, you're going to take, there's a groove that's notched in this can, you're going to take that groove and line it up with that red mark, and you're going to take and slide it across, and you're going to line the second mark up on this side with the center of the can. Get your hammer out, set your nail. Take my ladder, I'm going to spin my ladder around. Slide your can across from where you're working. You want to line your line up with the center of your can. Make sure it's against your ceiling joist. Set your nail. Now you get your center to centers on your cans and make sure they're all symmetrical together. And when you get your measurement locked out, I usually take a 6-in-1 screwdriver, get your can in position. There's a screw on this side of the ceiling can. Snug that screw up, and I take a marker, or either a red marker or a black marker, and I'll take and mark my positions where the can stops. I'll put a mark there and there, and I'll transfer it across. And it is possible, if the sheetrockers are installing sheetrock and they rotozip, if you don't lock that screw in, that can will slide over on the rail, and it will cause an oblong hole that they'll have to patch, and they won't like you for it. Oops. But me marking these lines, the drywallers can actually see if this can's been moved, so I put reference marks on all my cans. Just a helpful tip in helping your job and your production time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to give you all a little description on how this this cabinet layout is in this kitchen here. I'll show you this print that we got going on here. This is our kitchen area. We're in the kitchen now. We're facing this kitchen wall. There's 2 bump outs. There's a bump out here and a bump out on this wall here. I mean, 24-inch deep base cabinets. This corner here is going to get a 36-inch refrigerator. We got a 38-inch spot for it so that it doesn't pinch on this this wall. Need a little bit of clearance because your refrigerator, a 36-inch refrigerator, when it opens up, the door swing opens up, it will actually pinch in this wall if you don't have enough clearance. We've got some base cabinets that are going in from that mark where the refrigerator stops all the way over to here. We have a total of 47 inches base cabinet. We got a 30-inch range from there all the way over to this wall. We've got a total of 60 inches of base cabinet on that. Now we've got an island that's going in this middle here. In this particular print, they didn't give me a whole lot to go off of. As you can see, there's a measurement here of 7'8". There's a measurement here of 5'5", and there are no measurements on this print of where this range is at, and there's no measurements of where this sink is at in the location of the island. So looking at the reference points, you can see these dotted lines. That is a load-bearing support. And if you look at this wall, you see your load-bearing support. That's illustrated on the blueprint. Now that's my reference point for this island layout. As you can see, going across, I got a blue chalk line that goes all the way across to that side, as illustrated in the print right here, going across. That's actually the edge of our sink. If this print is accurate at all, I've used this reference mark for load bearing as the left side of our kitchen sink in this island. So basically, you see the way it's laid out now. Stepping back at this, you're going to see our space. You're going to see our blue chalk mark for our load bearing. Our load bearing is on this side of the line. Okay, and we've got a 36-inch sink base here. Got the marks laid out on the floor. Now dishwashers are 24 inches wide, and you have to put an end panel on the side of it. So the end panel is normally 2.5 to 3 inches wide. So from that mark to that mark is 24, and then there's going to be an end panel on it. And this contractor does things symmetrically. So if that's going to be 24 plus 2.5, you're looking at a 26.5 inch on this side to make it symmetrical from right to left. But I use the load bearings to get a layout of this particular wall and where that range needs to be located. Now, all that being said, this particular kitchen has no pendants, so it's not critical of where this is at, but I did have to get a layout on the island to get the location for the range on the wall. Now, the way I like to lay my cans out, if you look up the distance from the interior of the exterior wall, so the inside of the exterior wall, to center a can, I've got 48.5. From that same wall, I measure over to the center on this. You can see the red line, and that measurement is 110.5. I always measure from one wall, from the same wall for that can, the same wall to that can. I never pick another wall to get another measurement, always the same wall. So basically what I've got from can to can, I've done every other 2 bays. So first can location is there. I skipped 2 bays, got one there. I skipped 2 bays, 1, 2, there. I skipped 2 bays, and I got one there. And these cans, distance apart, from there to there, all the way across, are 5'2". They are 5'2" inches apart, and they are 48 inch on center from can to can. And that's every single one of these cans are 48 inches apart. Now, going from this measurement, I wanted some of the light. You can figure it's going to cut out on an angle. I wanted some of this light to land on this island. So our reference point of this island, this is the back of the cabinet. This is the overhang. This is actually the location of our cans. So looking at these measurements, this measurement from that wall to that wall is the same equal measurement from this wall, from this line of the center of this can to the edge of that wall. Everything's symmetrical in here as far as I could possibly get it. So next part of this video, we're going to drill a series of holes on this side coming from this box location, and we're going to be installing 14.2, and we're going to wire these ceiling cans together, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Stay tuned. All right, we'll get these holes drilled and run this 14.2 to can to can. Got to get a longer bit for that LVL, a little bit of an angle. Alright, got a offset right angle drill. Let's see if we can get in there and drill that LVL. Well, that's disappointing. I just smoked the drill on low speed. It's the old style of DeWalt drills that they had back in the day. Had the plug-in battery style, and I got the adapter. Well, it sucks. You win some, you lose some. Let me go get a better drill. We'll see if we can make these extensions work. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that LVL is pretty hard, and that 1/4 inch quick connect just snapped off in my extension. Time for a repair. Alright, I guess this is take 3. Ladies and gentlemen, if you all didn't know what would happen, these actually have a quick detach nub. It actually it's an indentation that locks in, and apparently she snapped off. Shout out to Southwire. Your drill bits aren't too good. She snapped off, and now it's messed my Milwaukee quick lock up. So I've got to probably super glue this back together and then snatch it back out. Wish me luck on that. That'd be a video for a later date. But we got the holes drilled. Let's go ahead and pull some wire. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to jump light to light, and I'll be right back with you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, pulling that wire, I've got a roll wire rack. It's made by Racketeers. I prefer this method. There's a lot less lifting of a spool and carrying it throughout a house. You can actually wheel this and position this. What I've got is a piece of 3/4 inch pipe going through here. They advertise this as using your conduit bender handle in this particular setup. They make, Racketeers makes 2 profiles. This is the low profile, holds 1,000-foot spools, no problem at all. I've got 2 sets of these, so I can actually set one for upstairs, one for downstairs. And if you need to do dual spool pulls, actually put a wooden disc in between the 2 of them so they don't get jammed up as they're spinning at different speeds. And I'll put 14-2 on one side and I'll put 12-2 on the other side, but this is a real good option. Now we're gonna get the ladder set up and we're gonna wire some of these cans up so I can show you how it's done. Now, coming into the living room, you're coming through the front door, or you're coming from the master door right there, going into this kitchen area. I've got a 3-gang switch box on the wall, and the first switch that you come to is going to be the living room light, the living room fan, and then you're going to have a 3-way for the kitchen cans at this location. And what I've got is got my 14-2 ran up through the top plate, and it goes across, goes through that series of holes, ties into this very first can, which you see right here. And you notice the way that I've got this routed, I've got 3 wires at this location, I've got 3 wires at that location. I've got 3 wires at this location right here. And I've got 2 wires at this location. And then these cans over here, that one, that one, that one, and that one all have single wires. And a lot of that's to do with the way that I routed the wire. If you want 2 wires per can, and you can do up to 3 wires per can, and with these particular cans, you can actually do a U-loop to go around. I chose this because it's less wire, a little bit longer on the hookup side, but we're going to get you propped up here and give you a little demo of how I do this. Stay tuned. All right, got you in a bird's eye view. First thing we're going to do is pop off this cover door, drop it from behind, pop the second cover door off. We're going to lift these wire clamp doors up, all 3 of them. I've got the wire, each one of these wires secured to the side of the joist. I'm going to run this wire first through the back of the box. I'm going to curl it out and pull down and pull in to lock it in position and leave enough wire loop that this can be moved if need be. I don't make anything my wire installs tight. I leave a little bit of slack in case something happens. Try to get these tucked to the side. Gonna go ahead and get our next wire installed. And then we're gonna get this one installed. You kind of see how much extra I've got. We're gonna cut off some extra. We're gonna take our utility knife, find out where your cut's at, score lightly, pass your blade, finish your cut heavy. We don't want no nicks or cuts in the insulation jacket. Pull off your paper. Yeah, this cold weather's playing with me here. Pull off your paper. Go ahead and get your back wire skinned out. Go about 3/4 of an inch from the top. Score down your wire. Pass your blade. Finish your cut. This is 14-2 NM Romex wire. NM stands for non-metallic. We're going to get this one positioned where we need to strip it. Got my finger on it. Go ahead and start your cut, pass your blade. Score heavy on the end. Peel that jacket back. Pull off your paper. And get it situated back in your clamps. Now, we're going to pull our grounds to the back. We're going to do our grounds first. Pull your neutrals and your hots up. Now, the whole time you're doing this, these wires are going to pop out of these connectors, these wire holding clamps. You're going to have to keep playing with that. We're going to cut these wires so they're even. We're going to hook our grounds up first. Now you've got a 4-port connector on this. 1 wire per hole. Make sure all the wires are bottomed out. Now what I found in the past is these cans, you got to make sure that their wire is pushed all the way in there. I've actually grabbed their wire and it pulled out before because it wasn't inserted but maybe 1/8 of an inch. Push that to the back of the box. Now we're going to do our neutrals. Get your neutrals lined up. And then we're going to take them and we're going to cut them so they're even. We're going to strip back a 1/2 inch on each one. Get our neutral wire supplied to our can, a recessed light. Insert it in holes till we get all three in. We'll pay close attention to this now and make sure that all of the insulation jacket goes up into the orange shield, and make sure you got all the conductors inside of this pushed up nice and tight. And make sure none of them come out. Go ahead and give yourself a little curl to it. Then we're going to do our blacks, which is the common wire. Even them up. Get your cutters. Cut them even. Strip back a 1/2 inch on each one of them. Bring our wire that goes to our can over to it. Make sure it's pushed in all the way. Go ahead and insert your wires into your hot side. Now, check and make sure none of the conductors, the bare conductor, the copper, is hanging out of this connector. Make sure they're all pushed in nice and tight, and make sure this is translucent. You can see through. Make sure they're all bottomed out. Looks like a pretty good connection. Take it and curl your wire into the box. Now, on the back of this, I've stored it. When you pull your shield out, take your notch, insert it into this corner over here. You got a little slot. Push in on that. Keep your finger away from this because it's cold. It'll snap you. It doesn't feel too good. Stay tuned. I'm gonna get the rest of these done. I'll be right back with you. One more thing I might add on installing ceiling cans in residence. For the journeymen, masters, homeowners that are out there that are installing their own ceiling cans, make sure you put these plugs back into the lamp socket. Drywallers get done with their job, sand everything, ready for the painters. The painters come in and they're air spraying, and you didn't know it. You thought they were going to roll it or brush it. They're air spraying and paint your sockets. It is quite possible that you will be back and you will be taking the housings out of the ceiling cans and you will be replacing them. Not a good day, bad day. Put these back in, or make sure that they are in before you leave the job. Look, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our 6-inch IC rated ceiling can install, and they are airtight. This concludes the installation in a residential setting. I hope this video was helpful and informative to you all. I asked you all, if you thought this was, to please consider subscribing to my channel for future videos on things that electricians do. I want to thank you for staying here through the whole duration of the video. And at the end of this video, I'm going to make 2 comments at the bottom. One comment is going to be educational, and one comment is going to be entertaining. I would like you all to check one of those boxes so I can get a gist of where these videos are going. Some people think they're entertaining, and other people think they're educational. And I'd like to get a better understanding of it, so help me out. Greatly appreciate it. I wish you all a wonderful and blessed day.